Fighting games. They're a very popular genre. There's always a DLC being released for the newest entries, and if you can name it, most likely has a professional esports community. I myself have dabbled into a few of these games, and I can see the appeal of them. A constant struggle of trying to get stronger, facing tougher opponents, and a sense of satisfaction whenever you best them. They're quite addictive, and Smash Ultimate is the game on my Switch with the most playtime. But despite all of this, I can't help thinking to myself one interesting question. Why do fighting games kind of suck? Now, but don't click off the video in a salty rage. Let me explain myself first. I'm not saying that fighting games are poor quality, quote-unquote, bad games on the level of, I don't know, a Bioshock Infinite or something. For legal purposes, that was a joke. But when you look at the formula and blueprints that fighting games all use them to create their games, there are, in my opinion, several instances of bad game design and audience feedback that everyone has just accepted for no reason, simply because they're present in every fighting game to be released. Let's have a look at a few points. Lack of intuitiveness. Intuitiveness in this context, besides being hard to spell, is the measure of how easy it is for the player to understand and learn your game. A lack of intuitiveness results in your game being off-putting and alienating to new players, whereas an abundance of it can help teach that same new player all the tactics and strategies of the game without them even knowing. Let's take Street Fighter V as an example. It is a fighting game that has a tutorial. The tutorial dumps a whole heap of info on you about the basic movements, how to jump, attack, block, that sort of thing. But that's pretty much it. Putting aside the fact that this tutorial is only shown to you once and then hidden between 20 menus after that, it isn't very helpful. All it does is get the player to hit a button. They don't have context for how these buttons contribute to the greater game as a whole. And if you played Street Fighter V, you should know that there is a lot more to this game than just the basics. If your character has special moves and combos and techniques to master, I would love if a fighting game actually taught me how to learn each character without having to look up a guide on the internet. But I can hear some people saying, but Josh, the game has mini tutorials for each character showing you how to use each character's moves. No, it does not. Shut up. The game has 10-second clips showing you the move. That's pretty much it. It doesn't work with you in a specifically designed level and teach you the best time and place to use that move in a match. Actually, there is a game that does that. The Skullgirls tutorial is probably the best tutorial I've ever come across in a fighting game. It has you do each action more than once, and it has dedicated tutorials telling you how to learn each character. You don't just have to do the action one time and then it shoves you on to the next topic. It walks you through it at a very good pace. I wish that every tutorial in a fighting game was as great as the Skullgirls tutorial. With all these other ones, if I have to go to an outside source to learn a crucial part of the gameplay, that's bad. That is bad game design, and isn't intuitive. You have to work that out for yourself, which results in you having your ass handed to you by 20 different CPUs because you weren't aware that you should use Fox grounded heavy punch as an anti-air. That crouch blocking doesn't protect against half the moves in the game. And these CPUs are extremely dumb, as they in no way act like an actual human opponent. Every computer person that I face is constantly executing long, complicated combos that would take a human months to learn. A big part of every fighting game are combos. A game that has a great combo system, I would say, is Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. It's a shame that there's like no one playing this game because it's actually a pretty good game. It's simple comboing. You hit a button to punch and then keep hitting buttons to combo, and it's easy to link those into special moves. Pretty much anything combos. I brought this game and I was landing combos within 20 minutes. But comboing, any other fighting game is, for lack of a nicer word, a chore. Often there's long, complicated combos that involve over 100 buttons pressed exactly on the right, minute second that are extremely mean to a new player. They're daunting. Look at the combo pages from Soulcalibur VI. Aside from the fact that it doesn't say A, B, Y, and X for the buttons, I have no idea what I'm even looking at. This might as well be in Japanese. Anyone who isn't familiar with fighting games is going to just immediately close the game after this, because it shows them that if they don't like going into extreme minute detail with all this combo stuff, they're not going to win, because Soulcalibur VI is a very fast game. If you just mash, you're going to lose. I will forgive the game for this because the game has a story mode, and it isn't just like two cutscenes and two baby level fights like in Street Fighter, but an actual RPG linked progression style campaign. The battles gradually get harder, so you as a player get more familiar with the weapon that you've picked, and grow in skill as the game progresses. And a number of these missions are dedicated purposely to showing you advanced techniques and letting you try them in context until you know what you're doing. There's also missions that restrict you from performing particular moves, or make particular moves do more damage than other ones, forcing you to switch up your playstyle and not just ban the same move. This is a great example of an actually intuitive fighting game, and it should be lauded to include this in every fighting game. Some people could put Smash on a pedestal when it comes to story mode, or with either the Subspace Emissary or the World of Light, but not really. World of Light is just a paper scissors rock game with equipping spirits, and Subspace knows that you'll be playing characters that you don't main, so intentionally makes it pretty easy. Lack of balancing. Balancing is probably a game designer's least favourite thing, because it's pretty much impossible without making every character play exactly the same. Little League Blaze has several characters, and the only thing different between them is their special move, and that a few of them can fly. Apart from that, there is practically no difference between how each character plays. This just means everyone's on a level playing field, but it doesn't make the game very fun or interesting. But then the more complex you make your game, and the more characters you add, the harder the game is. To balance. Particular characters are going to be much better than others. Smash Ultimate is a wildly unbalanced game. For the most part, I don't care, because I would say that every character can and has taken me by surprise, and you can get better at any character. Yeah, if you main Bowser, you're a sweaty 12-year-old and throws your Switch in the bin when you lose. But I'm still able to beat you as Lilith if I concentrate and sweat harder. But in Soulcalibur VI, why is there a character with a spear who can outrange my main? The killer just has to press the X button in order to completely invalidate half the character's approach options. And there is another character who has the main antagonist, Nightmare, who does the same damage as a truck when he hits you. Like, yeah, he's the boss character. I understand that, but he should be a challenge. But having big, powerful characters like him, in fighting games, always makes them the best characters in the game. M, Bison, Seth, and Gil are easily the most powerful characters in Street Fighter V, because they're all main antagonists from one of the games. Bowser, King K. Rool, and King DDD in Smash are all big villain characters that are supposed to be offset by their lack of movement, but they all still have easily exploitable moves that eliminate the need for them to actually get off their asses and hit you. People claim that Little Mac is the worst character in the game because he can't recover if you hit him off stage. But that doesn't matter when he can kill me. I'm at 40% through my shield. In fact, when Ultimate introduced Ridley and tried to avoid this by not making him a heavyweight, everyone complained because he gets absolutely bodied by half the cast. The only game I can think of where the big boss character doesn't have a clear advantage is Lethal League Blaze. Doombox has a larger hitbox than everyone else, and as such is a much bigger target to get hit with the ball, which again gives us the Ridley problem. But going back to those overpowered characters, it allows a player to just pick up the character as their main and have a 70% chance to beat me playing my underpowered character, and who hits you with a wet noodle. It seems to be a trend with me. I end up picking the low tier character. I swear it isn't on purpose. And yeah, and I'm not saying that if you play the big powerful character, you're a horrible person, but a Venn diagram of characters that I find fun and characters that are actually powerful in-game wouldn't overlap. Lack of leniency. What do I mean by leniency? Well, it pretty much means the margin of error for the player. A game like a Geometry Dash has almost no leniency. You screw up, you start again. A game like Zero Sam has a lot more leniency because you have an arbitrary amount of health that slowly goes down when you take damage. And you might say that fighting games have that as well. Yeah, to a point. There's a health bar, so like one mistake won't cost me the game. Until it does. Fighting games are very precise art. It's all about memorizing frame data, knowing which moves are safe and which moves are unsafe. AKA, if I hit you while you're blocked, can you hit me back before I can block? If you can, I performed what is called an unsafe move. And the difference between an unsafe and safe move is always dependent on any bitty amount of frames. I'm talking like 2 or 3 frames here. Do you know how fast that is? This is part of fighting games I've always hated. It means that I can't get better at the game without it becoming a chore. I need to know every single matchup in the game, a task which becomes exponentially harder the more characters are released, which moves are safe and unsafe, and also how to combo. Because the time between inputs and a combo also comes down to the same amount of frames. If I wait 0.4 of a second before hitting medium punch, too bad, the opponent can block. But then my opponent knows all these fancy combos and can keep me in a seemingly infinite combo, and then teabag my corpse. And granted, this does vary between fighting games. Smash Ultimate is the fighting game with the most leniency in my opinion, because the stage is a lot bigger and you have a plethora of more options available for you, available for approaching or avoiding being hit. And the percentage system is a great substitute for a health bar. The leniency is dependent on your skill and how well you can avoid getting hit, and also recovering after you get hit. And you can easily get better in ways that don't involve memorizing frame data. But for a one-on-one game, like Street Fighter, where the stage is claustrophobic flat, the slightest misstep means I get punished hard. Anyway, if you know me, you should know that the one thing that pisses me off the most about video games is being punished for failure. When the game intentionally doesn't save before a boss so that I have to play the last hour of game again. When dying, I'm a near automata means that I lose every single upgrade that I have until I go back to retrieve my corpse. When Hollow Knight only gives me my money back and fixes a handicap after I kill my ghost in the last place I died. Or the biggest example, when fighting games drop my score in competitive matches. And yes, I know Way Smash Ultimate takes away my GSP if I lose, because it's a competition. But can there be a mode where you can just face other people casually without having to wait in line in a battle arena? And why do I lose the same amount of GSP that I gain when I win? It's trying to climb a momentum where all of your progress is constantly snubbed by some sweaty tryhard who fix their lag switch when they start to lose. I appreciate Street Fighter and Soulcalibur for the sole reason that you gain more from winning than you do from losing. This system still has flaws though, and it all comes back to the balancing again. Who would you appreciate more in a competitive match? The player with good game sense and attacks at opportune moments with well unpracticed links on combos, or on the player who mains the overpowered broken character and spams a safe move that has little to no counterplay, all of which can be easily rid by their opponent. Like, yeah, the second guy might win, but the audience is going to boo. In fact, this happened with Smash 4. Bayonetta and Cloud, two DLC fighters, absolutely creamed the competition to the point where if you didn't pick Bayo in a 1v1 or Cloud in 2v2s, you were pretty much guaranteed to lose. And people booed, because although it was the optimal pick, it wasn't very fun or fair or interesting to watch. But I know that the people who are like that don't do it because they hate fair play. They're just equally as fed up as you and think, probably rightly so, that they deserve to be higher in the rankings, so have to adopt the easily spammable strategy to ensure that they become the very thing they swore to destroy. So, what do we draw from this? That fighting games suck and we should all stop playing them? No. But there are a few parts of their design that could and need to be streamlined. And yes, I know that if we made inputs easier to land, it would piss off all the competitive players. But when half the people who play your game competitively are pedophiles, who cares about them? Motohiro Sakurai, head developer of the Smash franchise, openly roasts competitive players in the DLC reveals, saying that he just wanted to make a fun party game. But when there's no casual online mode, only competitive one, that doesn't really end up making the game a fun party game. I'll just leave you with this thought I often have. After countless good days ruined by a Bowser killing me or with a forward smash at 40%. The number of times that I actually enjoy a fighting game doesn't outnumber the times I want to uninstall it in a fit of rage when I get beaten by a character that is a lot easier to abuse than the honest character I play. Except for perhaps Smash. That game can stay.